specifically, we're going to talk about who you like to drink your beer with, because we're probably going to be hearing this question a lot.
And of course, it goes back to this idea of which politician would you want to get a beer with? That's the person who's most likable.
Yeah, that's right. Talk show hosts, pundits, and guys in your office are going to be challenging you to think long and hard about which one of the buttload of candidates running for president you're going to want to get a beer with. It's a personality assessment known as the beer test, aka Brett Kavanaugh's favorite test. Prospective 2020 candidates are already trying to pass the beer test, like Senator Elizabeth Warren, very organically doing this.
Hold on a sec, I'm gonna get me a beer. Hey, Glover, my husband Bruce is now in here. You want a beer?
No, I'll pass on the beer for now.
You sure?
Uh-oh. It's not a good sign if even her husband doesn't want to get a beer with her. Oh, Elizabeth. But what does the beer test actually come down to? Let's roll that CNN clip again. What did she say?
Which politician would you want to get a beer with? That's the person who's most likable.
Ah, yes. The L word. Likeable. See, getting a beer is associated with someone you like, someone you'd hang out with, someone you'd lift weights in the garage beside Squee with. But can I just say, this question is rigged, and it's rigged in favor of dudes. Because when you ask, who would you get a beer with, you could just as easily ask, which one of these people could I have a penis with? It's never, is this a candidate I'd want to get a skinny girl margarita with? Skinny girl margarita. It's the same as a regular margarita, except we made you feel bad about yourself. Yes, getting a beer is automatically associated with hanging out with a guy. Look at any beer commercial.
Love, football on TV, shots of Gina Lee, hanging with my friends, and twins.
Oh, and twins. Yeah, they're twins. They're two women and they came out of the same vagina the same day. You know what, my dudes? Incest is hot. Yes. Twins. Of course, women also drink beer. We love beer. But when we walk into the women's section of a store, we aren't visually assaulted with beer merchandising. No, when we walk into the women's section, we are visually assaulted with sequins that turn another color of sequins when you rub them. But we want beer too, all right, you guys? See? Perfect. I'm having it all. Now, if the beer test is actually about likability, it should come as no surprise that women aren't doing so good.
As is the case with a lot of the ingrained expectations in a patriarchal society like the one that we live in, the rules are very different for men than they are for women, especially when it comes to this connection between sweetness and success. Because before a woman can be admired or respected, she first has to be liked.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that. I feel like before I can be successful, I have to be liked. I really do see that connection between sweetness and success, which is why I put candy under everyone's chairs. Really, there's candy there. Do you like me? Do you respect me? Please. Please tell me you do. Why is everyone throwing them at me? Guys, this double standard is crazy nuts. I mean, in fact, a study by the Catalyst Group in 2007 called it the double bind dilemma for women in the workplace, quoting, "Women leaders are perceived as competent or liked, but rarely both." And guys, if you think I'm not asking about the unlikability of the male candidates, shut up. Because when I Googled Cory Booker and unlikable, the literal first thing to come up was an article from 2016 claiming that Hillary Clinton is unlikable. Also, Cory Booker doesn't even drink beer. At this point, we might as well start saying unlikable and girl interchangeably. I mean, it's a blatant and prolific double standard. It's in our feeds, our news shows, and in our headlines. Wow, the Daily Beast. You truly are today's beast. And thank you, by the way, for bringing us back to Elizabeth Warren, because right after she announced her campaign, Senator Warren was immediately deemed cold and unlikable by Twitters and twats alike. Even Politico threw some sexist shade. I mean, come on, Politico, why are they always getting compared? Warren and Clinton, they're so different. Even if, yes, if we played a game of who's that Pokemon using their silhouettes, it would be impossible to know who the Pokemon is. But let's do the impossible and try and put politics aside for 1 second to just ask, why Senator Warren? Why does she evoke such a feeling of gut-wrenching unlikability? I mean, first of all, she loves dogs. Am I wrong? I mean, like 75% of her Instagram is her hanging out with her golden retriever. And look, I get that having an animal doesn't make you likable. Hell, Mike Pence has a bunny rabbit, but does he post videos of himself snuggling with Marlon Bundo to Instagram? No, he does not, because A, if he touches anything that has known the power of love, he will turn to ash like Professor Quirinius Quirrell in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's, nay, Philosopher's Stone. And B, no one has ever asked if he's unlikable. I mean, look at this good boy. And yes, to answer your question, of course his name is Bailey. Also, Senator Warren inexplicably loves the show Ballers. She gives literal pinky swears. She's seemingly obsessed with parades. And then there's her face! I mean, that's just objectively speaking not a cold, unlikable face, right? I mean, I know it doesn't have the warmth of, say, Donald Trump, or the friendly grin of a John Quincy Adams, or even the kind bounce of Richard Nixon's closely shaven anti-Semitic jowls, but come on! I mean, that's the face of a woman who bakes treats in the shape of hearts, which, by the way, she does in abundance, like a lot. All of it. Finally, she was the one who nevertheless persisted. Nevertheless, she persisted, basically became a global feminist movement, a hashtag, a children's book series, and a mandatory tattoo for all women. You should see mine, it's like Memento all up in here. So she's a scrappy, dog-loving grandma who bakes heart cakes and loves The Rock. And look, no one, myself included, is saying that means that she should be president, but why on God's formerly green earth would you call that unlikable? And also, I mean, she probably would be a good president. I don't know, it's something to think about.